Welcome back to today's podcast. Not a podcast, but a short, maybe 10 to 15 minutes video as always. Today, I would like to talk about something very interesting, and as always, we're diving into one of the most fascinating ideas in psychology and a little bit of psychotherapy, which is the Carl Jung archetypes. I love Jung. Imagine this. If Freud gave us the unconscious filled with repressed desire, Jung is the person who went a step further. He asked, what if our mind aren't just personal? What if they're connected to something deeper, something universal? Very, very, very interesting. Jung believes into something that is beneath our personal, how should I phrase this? I would say personal unconscious, where there is a collective unconscious, a kind of shared psychological inheritance of humanity. Think of it as a deep reservoir filled with images, stories, and patterns that repeat themselves across culture and time. And from that reservoir, it emerged archetypes, recurring symbols and roles that shapes how we see the world and ourselves. Very, very interesting. So take it as archetypes aren't characters. Archetypes is like a psychological blueprint. Instinct dresses up as stories. Jung outlined it like many archetypes, but let's talk about the core. I would break down into four, which is the self, the shadow, the anima and animus, and the persona. Let's start with the self. The self is the central archetypes, which it represents the wholeness, the unity of all parts of the psyche. Many myths describe heroes searching for something, and that's often symbolic of finding the self instead. The second is the shadow, the dark side of our psyche. It's everything we reject, we repress, or deny about ourselves. In myth, this often appears as, I would say, monsters, villains, but Jung will remind us the shadow isn't just bad. It holds like a creative energy too. The third is the anima and animus, which is the inner figures of the opposite gender. The anima is the feminine within the male psyche. The animus is the masculine within the female psyche. So anima, feminine, within the male psyche, and animus is masculine within the female psyche, which they appear in dreams, myth, and even romantic projections. Jung saw them as bridges to deeper understanding of ourselves. So the next one is the persona, which is the mask we wear in society. It's the version of us that is polished and curated and the socially acceptable us. Very useful, but if we identify too much with the persona, we risk losing touch with who we really are. Now, this might sound abstract, but the archetype plays out around us constantly. Think about movies. I would like to mention Star Wars, like give us Luke as the hero and Darth Vader as the shadow, and Yoda as the wise old man. Or the Lion King, which is like Simba is the hero, Scar is the shadow, and Rafiki is the wise mentor, and Mustafar represent the father archetype. Even in our personal life, we slip in and out of like archetype, wait, what am I talking about? Sorry, archetypal roles. So there's like the caregiver, the rebel, the student, the wanderer, teacher, whatever. So they shape how we dream, how we love, and how we grow. So as usual, we always ask the question to ourselves: why should we care? For Jung, becoming whole, a process he called individualization, requires confronting and integrating these archetypes. Facing your own shadow means owning the part of yourself you'd rather ignore. Balancing acnema and activeness helps you connect more authentically with yourself and others. Seeing your persona as a mask frees you from living only for appearance. In a summarization, archetypes give us a roadmap for personal growth, which is why it's very, very important. So today, while some scientists are skeptical of the collective unconscious, Jung's archetype live on in like many forms in like storytelling and literature study, like this depth psychology and dream analysis, even marketing. Like think of brands that tap into the hero, the explorer, or like the caregiver to connect emotionally with the audience. Something that I found fascinating is that in neuroscience, not that I've been aware of today, it doesn't really prove like Jung theories. Research does suggest that humans are wired to recognize universal patterns and symbols, but like our brains seem to be a storytelling machine. I like to add on the the shadow of us human. There's actually a way for us to notice or understand our shadow more, which is very interesting. So imagine I would like to invite you to take a piece of paper and a pen, then think of someone you hate a lot, someone that you resist a lot, someone that the moment you look at him or her, you're like, or them, they're like, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this person like gets into your nerves. Think of someone that would get to your nerves. With this person in mind, I would like you to write in the paper and pause this video and write everything you hate about that person. So now pause the video and write about it, which is what I want to invite you to. And I believe now when you're done, read out what you have written. And that's actually you. What you have written about this person that you hate a lot, that is actually a version of you that you hate. So this is what Jung talk about. Fascinating, right? So to sum up, Jung archetypes are like timeless character living inside us. It, it's like a guiding, challenging, and shaping our lives. They remind us that our personal psyche is connected to something vast and universal. So next time you dream or watch a movie or even catch yourself slipping into a certain role, I'd like to invite you to pause for a moment, ask yourself which archetype is showing up here. You might just learn something new about yourself. So thanks for tuning into psychotherapy today. I'm Hayden, and in the next episode, I'll bring you more fascinating topics, and I'm very, very excited to see you next week. See ya.